What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. And yeah, you can see by the headline right there, we're going to talk about this in terms of entertainment. But it's me speaking about the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light fallout. The marketing executive is out amid a far-right uproar. Okay, so let me address this term right here when you're talking about a far-right uproar. Let's be clear about this, okay? Just because someone objects to something on the far left doesn't make them far right, okay? Let's get that out of the way right now. I guarantee you that a majority of people, a vast majority of people that disagreed with this entire campaign are not far right, all right? Most people are centrists or moderates, okay? They sit in the middle of the country. They're not either to one side or the other. Most people are in the middle. And so for something to get this kind of publicity, to get on track this hard, it means that it pissed off a lot of people in the middle. Okay, so the uproar is not about the far right. The uproar is about everybody in general. A very low percentage of people would actually, classify or identify their views and values as far right. All right. Most of these people that are pissed off about this thing, they're sitting somewhere right in the middle. So this was kind of misleading and honestly disingenuous of Forbes to even put this headline out there when addressing this topic. But it's kind of fitting as well, okay? Because I guarantee you that the VP of Bud Light was probably saying, only the far right is going to object to this, okay? Only those crazy people over there on the far right. Only those guys are going to object to this. Everybody else is going to be okay, all right? And they found that that was absolutely not the case. But that brings me into what I'm talking about when it comes to entertainment as a whole, when it comes to what we talk about on this channel, okay, the culture of entertainment and why that's important, okay, and what Hollywood is doing to try to shape the culture, okay, of the country, of everybody that's watching their content. What they're trying to do is failing, and it's failing because they don't understand their audience. So you see this chick is getting replaced, right? The VP of marketing, and you start asking, well, what was the miss, right? Where did she get it wrong? And she got it wrong when it came to the marketing and the branding of her product, which was Bud Light. Number one is she did not understand her audience, okay? And this is the same thing with Hollywood that I've been saying, okay? Hollywood lives in a bubble. They don't understand who their audience is. Just like this chick didn't understand beer drinkers. She didn't understand her major clientele, her customer base. You have to understand that. From a standpoint of branding and marketing, it's the same thing in Hollywood. You have to understand that. And number two, you have to understand and appreciate the repercussions that are going to come your way, okay, if you decide to just go off the reservation and do something wild and crazy. All right. And we're seeing that. Listen, because it's so viral and so huge, this should stand as a wake-up call for all businesses, especially the entertainment business, okay? Because they rely heavily on their clients, on their customer base, all right? Now, we've talked about this one before, okay? Strange World and Lightyear, right? Like Disney and a lot of Hollywood, for that matter, has gotten this idea that their core audience for their family entertainment or just entertainment in general, okay? Their core audience, but specifically for Disney, is not families, okay? It's not parents, it's not children. They, in their head, have gotten it in their head that their core audience is not family, it's a bunch of woke activists, okay? It's not grandma and grandpa, it's not cousin, uncle, auntie, everybody coming to the theater as a family. That's not who their audience is. No, we're making movies for woke activists and progressive politicians and people like that. Apparently, that's who they think their audience is, all right? It's no different, again, than this whole situation with Bud Light. They don't know who their audience is. And now we've seen where this has led. Strange World stunk it up. It was like the #1 flop of the year, right? The biggest box office flop of 2022. And Lightyear wasn't far behind that. I think they were number 3. Okay. That's where this thing is led. And again, it's just simply a matter of understanding who your customers are. Okay. Who are your customers? Who are you marketing your stuff to? If you're a beer company, are you marketing your beer to people that drink beer? Okay. Oh, we're trying to gather new audience members. Understand that. But you also have current audience members or current customers that you need to keep engaged and keep involved. You don't just say, hey, we're just going to lose all of these guys and we'll just, cut our losses. All right. That's when you end up getting fired like this lady did. OK, and it's the same thing that's going down with Disney. We see Victoria Alonso getting fired. OK, because there's something broken within the Marvel system. There's something broken there and they're firing her. Okay. Kathleen Kennedy hasn't had a hit in Star Wars and I don't know how long. Okay. And it goes right back to you understanding who your customer is. Okay. It reminds me of this. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Barton Fink. Actually, let me just pull this up real quick. Now, Barton Fink is a movie directed by the Coen brothers starring John Turturro. and John Goodman, okay? And this particular scene, John Turturro is talking to John Goodman about writing, okay? And the kind of stories that he wants to write. And he talks about what you see here in the title, The Theater of the Common Man, relating it directly to actual human beings, the common man, okay? And today's Hollywood, that's exactly who they need to be focused on, okay? Not trying to write to their elitist buddies in Hollywood somewhere, okay? But write to the regular mom and pop families, normal Joe Blows, okay? Regular people that you see on the streets every day, okay? Those are the guys that Hollywood and pop culture and pop entertainment should be trying to focus on, all right? But they're not focused on these guys. They're trying to push all of these politics, all of this progressivism in your face, and it's falling on flat ears. But listen to something that Barton Fink, who's played by John Turturro, says about that.
You're a real man.
And I could tell you some stories.
Sure you could, and yet many writers do everything in their power to insulate themselves from the common man, from where they live, from where they trade, from where they fight and love and converse and...
Now, what Barton is saying there essentially is that writers insulate themselves. And I've said this, guys, you hear me, in the bubble, okay? They live in the bubble, they insulate themselves from the common man, from where they live, from where they love, from where they fight, you know, from where they work. They have no idea what we care about, okay? They're just making content and crossing their fingers, I guess, hoping like hell that this crap works, okay? And that's the breakdown. They have no focus on the customer. I've been saying it ever since I started this channel. They got to start focusing on the clients, the customers, the audiences, us, okay? People that actually go out to watch the movies, instead of trying to focus on their woke friends in Hollywood, all the activists that they follow on Twitter, okay, that say, we need to stand up for women's rights, or we need to stand up for the LGBTQ. Okay, fine. You can stand up for that stuff outside, but when you're making your content, when you're doing your work, your business, okay, it's about business. You got to focus on the business at hand. And the business at hand is entertaining the audiences. And Ripper literally just got through talking about this earlier this week. And he says it, it's straightforward. Pro tip, if you're trying to make a living off of entertainment art, you have to learn how to look at your creations through the lens of the customer. All too often, people get caught up in technicalities and the status quo. This often leads to you creating to appease your peers and your competitors. They're trying to make content in Hollywood for all of their friends, for all of the woke people around them, okay? They live in a bubble, and this is what they are doing. Ripper said it perfectly. You're trying to make content that appeases your peers and your competitors. That is a mistake. Most of their income is not directly contingent on sales of the creation. There are things that your peers will hyper emphasize that customers don't even care about, and vice versa. This is why I continuously advise you to stop worrying so much about cosigns or approvals. If your customers love your products and want to purchase it, the opinion of your peers can only help if they see it from that perspective. Credentialism and elitism is becoming more and more archaic of a concept in art and entertainment. It was effectively a Ponzi scheme where economically clueless people were able to overstate their importance and protect the status quo. Boom. Eric July, the young Ripper 5'9", gets it. He understands it 100%. He understands it from that angle of you got to talk to your customers, okay? You're creating something for the purpose of entertainment. Now, if you're just some, hoity-toity artist and you want to create something for hoity-toity art communities, fine, go ahead and do that, okay? And that's where it's going to sell. It's going to sell over there. It's kind of like art house cinema, okay? If you're making something for art house cinema, it's going to be low budget, all right? You're not going to be making these giant $100 million, $200 million movies, all right? And every last one of them joints is going to make somewhere in that, $5 to $6 to $7 million range, and that's going to be a success, all right? Because it's a small art house movie. It's not designed for the large scale, cinema. It's not designed for everybody in America to watch, okay? And again, this is the problem. I go right back to the Bud Light situation, okay? That chick did not understand who she was trying to sell beer to. All right. And it's the same thing with these entertainment companies. They don't understand who they are trying to sell entertainment to. You got a big streaming platform, Disney Plus, Netflix, HBO Max. Hey, these are not just small little streaming things. These are big. You got to go big. That means you got to appeal to everybody. All right. You can't try to appeal to this little corner here or this little narrow corner here. All right. You got to appeal to the widest group of people possible. Lowest common denominator. What's something everybody's going to like? All right. And when it comes to family films, especially stuff like Strange World, you got to appeal to everybody all the way across the board. You cannot try to, oh, well, you know, we're going to put a gay couple in here or there. Okay, listen, that might be great if you were just making that for the gay community and it was just this small segment of the population. You're trying to make something for the majority of people. You got to appeal to the majority. I don't understand how people got their jobs and have gotten this far in this business not understanding that, okay? Not understanding where their bread is buttered, all right? Your bread is not buttered by 5% of the population. It's buttered by the 95%. And the 5%, you can make stuff for them, but it's got to be super small budget, art house stuff, okay? Again, this should be the giant wake-up call that everybody needs, okay? Because Bud Light has absolutely tanked. Disney was already down, okay? And they have just dropping lawsuits left and right. They're having trouble putting bread on the table themselves. This thing should wake up everybody in corporate America, especially these ESG companies that think, oh, we're doing such a great thing for environmental and social governance, okay? We're changing the world. No, you're not. You're just making people mad. People are who they are, okay? There's something just inert about who we are as in human beings and people. It's like, we're not going for this, okay? You will fail every single time going in this direction. But I just wanted to bring this up. I thought it was such an important connection to make when it comes to Bud Light, when it comes to entertainment companies in general, and how they're all trying to chase after the woke agenda and they're trying to appeal to this woke mob for their ESG and DEI points, okay? But ultimately, America and, you know, the world in large is just turning their backs on this crap. All right. It's like Eric July said, right? You got to focus on the customer. All right. What does your customer want? If you're trying to make a living. Now, if you're not trying to make a living off of entertainment and art, if that's not what you're trying to do what you like. OK, I have no problem with that. But if you're trying to make your living off of this, if you're trying to build a streaming platform that doesn't lose $1.5 billion every quarter. All right. You got to change up what you're doing. Sorry, Disney. That's just the way it is. All right. But anyway, folks, I didn't know what you guys thought about this. I just wanted to throw that out there again. I think we are going to see a wake-up call coming soon with all of this stuff, all right? Because people are losing way too much money, all right? Marvel is starting to like, ooh, man, you know, we're not making the money like we used to make, okay? And a lot of it is because of that Phase 4 MCU crap. Nobody was here for the MCU. So people are turning it off. People are going off, finding other forms of entertainment, okay? And now it looks like, you know, I've heard rumors that Guardians of the Galaxy is not looking too hot. And I thought that was a surefire $1 billion movie. Now it might not be. All right. But yeah, that's where we're at. You guys go ahead. Let me know what you think about this. OK, are we going to see some sort of a resurgence? OK, is this the wake up call that all of these companies need all the way across the board? OK, not just beer companies and entertainment companies, but all companies. Are we finally seeing that wake up call that we needed to see? You guys go ahead, jump down in the comments. Let me know what you think about that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.